I'm back. Um, I got a bunch of stuff I want to talk to you guys about tonight. I didn't want to do it at the end of the show with Jimmy Sorelli from earlier. I wanted to kind of make it a different show. So I have some things I want to say. I don't know if I'm going to go along with the plan I originally had, but thanks to Tommy Agro and his comment he made. Well, I'll say this. When Tommy Agro made that comment, I had a feeling there was a reason he was saying it. And I thought about it. Thank you, Tom Lochner. I appreciate that. Uh, I had a feeling he was saying it for a reason. And I thought about it. And, I came to the conclusion that he was saying it for a reason. He wants me to know that I've officially been doxxed. That wasn't a coincidence that Tommy Agro said that. I don't know who that is. I don't know what his deal is. But if I'm wrong, somebody better let me know right away. It's really not that big a deal, guys. But you did it without my permission. So if I don't hear something soon, letting me know that I'm wrong about what I'm thinking, then I think you know I might have to let loose on a certain person I've been going pretty fucking easy on, and you guys can probably figure out who that is. And it's not Lee, and I'll tell you why. Because Lee did what Lee does. And he got my name wrong. Um, I saw in one of those messages he sent the name that he put in the message. He put it in there in about three different messages. It was wrong each time. That was not my name that Lee had. I didn't want to say that in the beginning because I didn't want to give him a reason to start digging around. But one person had it right. And I don't know if he's using Tommy Agro or what his deal is. But Tommy Agro obviously knows it, and he wants to let me know that he knows it. And funny, I don't see him in the chat now, and I don't think I saw him in the chat since he made that comment. If I'm wrong, you guys can let me know. But I don't think he ever answered my question. So, like I said, no big deal. It's going to happen sooner or later anyway. And, I have nothing to hide. I really don't care. I just don't want to cause, people in my family trouble. But uh, but obviously, if you do that to me, I'm going to make you pay for it, right? And I will make this person pay for it. You can bet your ass, and I probably won't be the only one. Let's see, Robin Ophelia Quivers, $4.99. F Jackie and Nadu. F Jackie, good old Stern, classic phrase. People would call in just to say F Jackie after he made the stupidest mistake of his life and left that show. So, got your back, brother. Thank you, Frankie Brooks. Yeah, listen, this isn't going to be pleasant. Um, I'm going to give this a few minutes. I'm going to see if anybody tries to contact me and let me know if I'm making a mistake, which I probably won't believe them anyway. But if I don't hear from somebody, then fuck it. It's on. That's all I can say. It's on. Yeah, funny. Funny, Anthony Raymundi. Um, oh, Jen, I will. Um, and it won't be pretty. I'm telling you now. And you know what? I knew that that was coming because the other night I finally spoke out about this guy. And, guess it didn't make him look so good. So he must have thrown a temper tantrum and decided to give out my information. And, as soon as Tommy Agro, if you're wondering why I reacted the way I did, um, it's because I knew there was something wrong with what Tommy Agro said. I knew that wasn't a random comment. I knew why he was saying what he was saying. I just wanted to see if he'd give me some other different reason. Maybe I was being paranoid. But I know why he brought up that pizza place. I know why he used the address of that pizza place. And I'd like to see him come on here. Yeah, Brooklyn guy, it was you know, maybe Tommy Agro is maybe I didn't realize all along just who he was. But I'm figuring it out now. And whenever Angel gets on here, I got something that I want to show Angel that Shanna just gave me. My beautiful wife, who I love, who did something for me that was very thoughtful. She took something she heard from the show and she got me a nice gift. And it actually brought back some memories. Um, and it's something Angel spoke about. And I would like to show her as soon as she's in the chat. This is funny. FBS, you really don't want to go down this road, kid. They'll take pictures of the inside of your house like me, and I'm a mob enforcer. You're a nobody. Um, no, no, they won't. They won't take pictures of the inside of my house. I assure you of that. I'll tell you what, though. This is oh, there you go. There you are. Are you ready for this, Angel? I want to show you what Shanna bought me. She just went down to the mailbox and she got something out of the mailbox. Yes, I am, Jen. She went down to the mailbox and she brought something up for me, and I wanted Angel to see it. Uh, I was surprised by it, but I was even more surprised at the memories it brought back. So here we go, Angel. This is what Shanna just gave me. I want to know if you know what this is in this bag. That was quick as fuck, Jason. um, this is, as Jason already put out there before he gave Angel a chance. No, I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why in a second, Lexi. Why that would be. Um, she said, "Sure, do FBS. I have one here." I'll tell you why, Lexi. That's not the case. But first, yeah. Um, this is gray flannel. This is the cologne that Angel told us her father used to wear. Now, I'll tell you what's a trip. Careful, it's potent. Yeah, I put some on, and you're not kidding. But I'll tell you what, why that cracked me up, and I told Shanna this. I didn't realize it until I put a little on my wrist. This is what my dad used to wear. I didn't know that, but kind of like you, how you always remember the smell of your dad, your mother, whatever it may be. As soon as I smelled it, I recognized it immediately. I had never heard of gray flannel. But of course, when you're a kid, you don't look at what kind of cologne your father wears. At least I didn't. Um, the crickets will run out now. But it brought back memories because little did I know that must be what he wore because I noticed the smell immediately. But it was very cool of Shanna to get me that, and I love it, and I will be wearing that. I love colognes. I have many. Yeah, it does Beantown 916. But I especially love that one for a lot of reasons. Like I said, it brings back memories. Um, let me get back to was it Lexi's comment? I'm gonna tell you why. This is how slick some of these motherfuckers think they are, or maybe how slick they actually are. The reason I knew something was wrong when I saw Tommy Agro's comment is because of this. A while back, I went on that. Maybe it's better off I don't get into it. Yeah, maybe it's better off I don't get into it. But I'm not even gonna say because it might be giving away too much. But yeah, trust me, that was no coincidence. That's why, and like I said, it is the best pizza in that town. Um, but there's no chance. There's a lot of pizza places. Matter of fact, a lot of these fucking people that are in that town, they don't know what pizza is, just like a lot of small towns. And a lot of them don't like that place. Unless you really know New York pizza, you wouldn't think that that place has the best pizza in York. Um, you have to, kind of have that taste for New York pizza to appreciate how good it is. You got to understand, in a place like York County, Pennsylvania, those fucking people think Domino's and Papa John's is the best pizza. That's no lie. Real pizza joints don't do real well. Real Italians, because they don't know. The people don't know what they're getting, and they're not used to the good food. Hold on, I want to see something. Yeah, I just saw that somebody must have blocked her from my channel. So please, if you guys see anything like that, let whoever's show it is, let them know that that is not Shanna. Because I saw it. I just saw when I was trying to unblock a couple of people. I saw that somebody blocked New Beginnings with Shanna, but I realized it wasn't her. I even had her comment on one of my videos just to make sure. So yeah, guys. So I'm just letting you know. Um, there's. I know what you're saying, Lexi. There's no. What? What did I? Why? What did I say? Hold on. And I do, if that's what you mean. Yeah, I know for a fact. Okay, and look, Tommy's gone. Right? Where's Tommy Agro? You see him? And I have a feeling we won't be seeing him anymore. That was a pointed fucking statement. He knew exactly when he said it that I was going to be suspicious and have an idea what he was saying. And maybe that was a little threat, like, ooh, I know who you are. Which is fine, guys. It's going to come out. That's fine. It's not a big deal. I'd be stupid for not trying to put it off because of people like Alite, of course. Um, yeah, that wasn't Shanna. She wouldn't be doing that. Um, Sorry, guys. Oh yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure. But it's all right because I know who he is. I know who he is now. Um, well, we all know who he is. I'm trying to be, cool and say, hey, I won't unleash, you know, hell on you for even threatening me and slipping in a sly little comment like that in there. But trust me, you know better. You know who you are, and you know fucking better. And I don't care how big your other platform is. Um, I will do damage to you. You know I will, and I'm not the only one. So I'm actually glad Tommy Agro did that. Yeah, absolutely, Jen. I know. I know. Yeah, Cleveland Corleones. Um, so I'm gonna fucking, I'm gonna give it a little bit during this show. Maybe I'll think it over while I'm talking, whatever, and then we'll see. And but it's official, guys. Trust me. There's no chance that was a random comment. Like I said, look, Tommy's gone. Um, that's why as soon as I asked, "How do you know that? Why did you say that?" He disappeared. I know why he said it. I know why he said it. And there's a reason he added the address to it. He wanted me to know exactly why he said that. And I know exactly why it is. So, and I just told Shanna about it. Shanna understands. You know what I mean? So, let me tell you something, my friend. You're going to fucking pay. You're going to pay on here. You're going to pay on social media. You're going to pay. Yeah, hellfire. Yeah, Richard Betancourt. That's what I think. And I pretty much know it. So, we'll see. We'll see what we see or hear during this show. Um, well, yeah, but you know what's funny, Nicosia Connection, all this time, and it hasn't, right? Until some fucking scumbag started going around telling people shit. And now all of a sudden, right? All of a sudden, all this trouble starts and every fucking thing else. So, that's all right. It's okay. You want to still meet me face to face and apologize to my face? Because I would love that. Why don't you send me a text and let me know? Why don't we meet up now? Face to face, me and you. Nope, nothing. All right. So anyway, I'm going to move on to some other shit, guys. I don't know. I titled this, my life self destruction. I'm going to talk about that stuff. I want to only because I took down a show from Saturday night because it got political and people would have pulled it down right away and started taking shit that I said out of fucking context and playing their little game. So I took the video down because it wasn't worth the trouble. But because of that, I want to go over something about Franzese and Alite again. And yeah, I know he has. I know. But now he's gone. Look at that. Uh, yeah, he used to work for Barstool Sports, Tommy Agro, apparently. That's where he used to work. Um, so, oh, yeah? Yeah, of course it was weird. Yeah, it was a message. You know what I mean? It was a message. That's why it threw me off for a second because I knew what he was saying. Um, So I don't know how to get started on here with what I want to say, but I'll tell you what. A lot of what Shanna was saying earlier on her show made me think about this stuff. And what does that mean, J.R. Boston? Obviously, you don't know Anthony. What does that mean? This fucking guy. You're irritating the shit out of me with this liberal shit, jackass. I'm no fucking liberal cocksucker. I'm just gonna let you go. Goodbye. That's fucking getting irritating as shit. Um, I don't. Yeah, I don't even know, man. I just got rid of him, so I don't know what he said. It doesn't matter. Um, I want to make sure I didn't miss any super chats, guys. Bear with me because I'm thrown off a little bit. Howard Stern, 4.99. I'm completely pissed off that I'm circumcised. uh, nah, he was. He did towards the end there start speaking out against that, right, Howard? He didn't like that shit. And then Sal gave a speech. Uh, George Galleone. I tried to call you yesterday twice, my friend. I couldn't get a hold of you. I am sorry this crap continues on. What little people keep causing this drama. FBS, you're a better person than they do any day of the week. Well, that's been proven now. That's been proven. Thank you, Cleveland Corleones. I know I do. I know. It's just funny that some people don't know that I do. Um, yeah. I'm officially doxxed. It's done, guys. So MRE or anybody who wants to know who's interested, it's done. I'm officially doxxed. You'll start seeing it over the next coming days. There's no doubt about it. So it's done. So in case anybody was just taking little warning shots, it is what it is. And I was taking warning shots too, or giving warning shots, maybe I should say. But I'm done with the warning shots. That's over. So, um, I want to talk about the Franzese Sammy thing again, just for a minute, only because I took that show down. Yeah, everybody hit the like, please. Lexi Johnson, you don't believe me, apparently. I just said you'll see over the next couple of days. Take my word for it. I'm pretty good at this. It's a fact. If I wasn't doxxed, Tommy Aggro wouldn't have made that fucking comment. It's a fact. It's done. So, uh, hold on. So, yeah, don't you don't even have to question it. Trust me. That comment was telling me I was doxxed. I'll get into it another time why that comment meant specifically that, but that's exactly what that comment meant. Is that they know the one thing about me nobody knows. Brooklyn guy, $5 super chat. Thank you, appreciate that. But I'm not even sweating it. Really, doesn't matter. I already talked to people in my family and everything. It's all good. But I'm still gonna make them pay. No, it's not. No. Um, Sorry, guys, if I seem a little distracted and this is going slow, I apologize. But I was thrown off. Um, yeah, Tommy Agro's gone with the wind now. Look, isn't that something? Uh, it's and what's funny is who he wanted an interview with more than anything, right? Even to the point where he said he would pay him for it. Alite. So maybe this is what he'll use to get it. Um, Maybe. Tommy Agro, did you make the comment about the pizza joint in York? There he is. Let's see. I don't know what anyone is talking about. Uh, yeah, Tommy Agro, explain yourself. Um, I want to know why you said what you said. Let's see. On my last video. So what, Jesse? You don't think it was him? Yeah. I'm not buying it. And I don't know exactly who you are, Tommy Agro, but if you're not who I think you are, I will let you know that you might have just you may have just started some really big trouble for somebody. Really big trouble. I'll hear him out. I'll hear him out. That's the only reason you said that, huh, Tommy? It's the only reason you named that place and put the address in there. Feels like the party line over here. Oh, I'll drop the link. Does he want to come in and talk to me? There's the link. This is actually fun in a way, isn't it, guys? Just when you think there's not going to be any controversy, you never know what's going to pop up on MobTube. Yeah, what's up? Can't hear you. Apparently, there's nobody there because I can't hear him. Hello? Yeah, look at that. He went away. Maybe he thought I wouldn't bring him on. All right. Well, listen, we're not getting anywhere. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, off that because it's not even worth talking about anymore. What's done is done. I want to talk about a little bit, and I would have liked to have done this as a more, maybe even a pre-recorded show, a more organized show where it was just about that, and we didn't have all this bullshit in the way. Baba Booey, 4.99. He's not coming home, Wolf. I fucking love the Stern references, guys. You have no idea. Harvey from Canarsie. I'm in my underwear, Tommy. You know what's next. Thank you guys for the super chats tonight. I appreciate it. Oh God, Alite. This guy's a paranoid. He reminds me of my friend John Panisi. I'm not that paranoid. Panisi basically killed a kid because of his paranoia. What happened? Yep. Well, I guess you could say I've been doxxed, and Tommy Agro was the messenger. He was letting me know that I've been doxxed. So, but all right. So, all right. So yeah, I didn't want to do this show this way because I wanted to make it almost kind of a serious show. And I don't even know how I want to do this. I've just been wanting to talk lately. One thing about myself, because I've pretty much told my stories, in my life and my drug abuse and all that kind of shit. I'm gonna click the comments off for a minute. You'll still be able to comment. I just won't see them for a minute because I want to kind of focus here. So I've told some of my stories and stuff like that, but hearing Shanna's show earlier and just thinking the last few days and yesterday, I just want to let you guys know. Yesterday, I was in really bad shape. I do have the heart problems, and because of different medications, because of different things, the heart problem itself. Every now and then, I get these days. I usually get them about once a week, where I just can't function. I'm just extremely weak. And I mean, week. Like yesterday, I couldn't stand up to brush my teeth. I had to keep laying down and getting back up and trying again. And it gets bad. It gets really bad. And then, there's medicine I take that causes me to get dehydrated if I don't drink enough water and everything else. So yesterday was a tough day. And I was down, of course, because I felt terrible. And that had me doing a lot of thinking and just a lot of stuff that's been going on in my head. And that's why, I said earlier that I want to do a show. Bama, $5. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. About Bama again, $5. Thank you, man. Yeah, I know. I know I need to quit smoking, man. I'm working at it. Trust me. Listen, uh, I know it's no good no matter what, but considering what I went from to what I'm doing now, even the doctor said, fuck, I'd rather you just smoke and take your time with it. Because let me tell you, a lot of doctors will tell you at this point that the stress from quitting smoking will kill you quicker than the cigarettes. Um, you got to tell me, bro, I'll stand up for you against anybody. Anyway, I'll be a fucking troll for him. You tell me what to do. Thank you, man. We'll get back to that. But I was just thinking about it, and I'm not going to go through it now like I originally planned. I'm not going to go through my whole life story or anything. I just want to talk about maybe it's this. And this morning, by the way, I meant to tell you another reason I was the show with uh, Jimmy Sorelli was rushed. I got up early this morning. I got a call from a friend last night that I think he needed a little help. This morning, I got in the car. I went to Philly. I went to Jersey. I did what I could to help my friend, and I was on the road all day. I didn't get back till about 3 o'clock. I came home and I still felt exhausted from yesterday, so I fell asleep for a couple of hours. When I woke up, Shanna, yeah, it's not you, Jeff. Shanna was getting ready to start her show, so that's why everything was kind of rushed tonight, and I didn't want to know how I wanted to do this show, but I still wanted to do it. Here's the gist of it. Basically, is I've been thinking about what a tremendous fuck up I am. Honestly, um, and I always have been. I'm and a lot of the addiction talk has been making me think about this stuff. Um, my whole life, I had this problem where whenever things get really, really good, I self destruct. And Nadu, if that's you, just text me, and then I'll know it's you. But it's not. Um, I self destruct. I don't know what it is. I had a supervisor once, this girl Emily, who told me, you have a fear of doing well. Because look at all your friends. All your friends are dead or in jail, and here you are doing well. Because at that time I was doing well. And she said, it's like you can't wait to fuck it up. You know what I mean? And I always did that. I always fucked everything up. I would just, I don't know if that I thought things were going too well, or maybe things were too perfect. I don't know what would cause it, but eventually I always have to self-destruct. Always, every time. And I've done this multiple times in my life. I did it as a teenager when, if I would have never self-destructed to begin with, um who knows what I might have been in life. You know what I mean? If I never got involved in the crime and all that shit, that fucking drug use and the alcoholism. If I would have never got involved in any of that stuff to begin with, who knows what I'd be today? I don't know. I think I could have been something great because I have some intelligence. I'm certainly no fucking genius, but I'm no dummy either. When I was a kid in school, I was, when we lived in Queens and shit, I was real good. I was a straight A student always. And then, when we came here, my last couple of years of school, I I was just a fuck up, man, and I was failing every fucking subject, and I just wasn't doing well, and it was because I hated it. Honestly, I was an outcast. The town I moved to, they didn't have many New Yorkers. They didn't like my last name. They didn't like my accent. There's a bunch of fucking hillbillies around this, Sicilian, New York guy, and I hated it. And I lashed out by destroying my education. And my parents were, um, they didn't know what was going on with me. They started to wonder maybe if yeah, I know Nicosia connection. I know. And I'm not. I'll be getting around to, what my point is, but I'm not doing the what if thing. But you do every now and then. Everybody does it. And it's pointless, but um I destroyed all that shit because, well, I don't know, honestly. And that's the question I ask myself a lot. School, my parents thought that maybe I had some sort of learning disability, so they took me to get some testing. And I actually graduated, or not grad. I'm sorry. Sorry, I'm looking at comments here. I'm going to take them off for a second. I actually always scored very high. At the time, I scored the first time they got me tested. I scored very high for my age. Not, but I mean grades higher than I should have, than somebody at my age. Um, so but I fucked that all up. I stopped caring about school. I was fighting all the fucking time. I didn't get along with these kids I was around and shit. It was a very racist place, and when you're in a fucking town, and at that time I wasn't in New York City yet. I was living in the suburbs, and at that time, it was like if you were an Italian guy in that town, you might as well have been black. It didn't matter. They looked at you the same. They hated your fucking guts. Um, in places like that, they hate anyone who's different. Period. If you're not lily white and you're not like them, they hate you. And I use that maybe as an excuse to fucking just give up on school and lash out and throw that whole fucking opportunity away. Because who knows? Maybe I could have gone on to college at some point. I don't know. But and then as life went on, I got involved in the addiction shit, and I got because I started drinking, and the drinking got out of control. I was doing coke. The coke made the alcohol addiction worse because I would I'd have to drink to get myself to sleep at night. Um yeah, I would have to drink, drink myself silly basically just to pass out at night. And then after a while of that, I started waking up with the withdrawal symptoms. I didn't even know what they were at first. And then I realized that if I just took a few shots, it got all better. And I already told the story, so I'm not going to bore everybody. But basically, once um, my girlfriend at the time, who was my daughter's mom to be, came to me and said, you got to quit drinking, because she had lost a father basically due to alcoholism, and said, either you quit now or I'm leaving. And I wasn't going to let that happen. So I decided to go to a friend's house and just try to go cold turkey, which I didn't know at the time. I was a young kid. I was 19. I didn't know that you can't do that. You can't go cold turkey off of alcohol. Not if you're an actual, physically addicted alcoholic. It's impossible. And I didn't know that. I think I made it like 12 hours at my friend's house before I had a grand mal seizure, wound up in the hospital, cardiac critical condition, had to get snowed with Ativan, put into a coma for um, for 7 days, and it was a fucking mess. Hunting times $25. Thank you very much. That which does not kill you only makes you stronger. I know, and it has. It has. But yeah, alcohol withdrawal. Uh, a lot of people don't believe it because they don't know. But watch some episodes of Intervention about alcoholism, or just look it up. Just Google severe alcohol withdrawal. What does it cause? Whatever. Severe alcohol withdrawal symptoms. The first two things you're going to see are heart attack and stroke. It'll kill you. And I had that seizure. I spent all that time in the hospital. And they had me strapped down for a few of those days because I was going through the DT so bad that I kicked the nurse. And I didn't try it. I was seeing things and I thought there was people in my room trying to hurt me. That's what happens when you're going through delirium tremors. So they they had me strapped down for days. By the time I was able to get out of the hospital, I couldn't, your muscles atrophy quicker than you think. I couldn't really walk. So I had to walk with a cane, and they couldn't get me to go to an inpatient rehab. So I agreed to go to an outpatient. And they told me on the way out of the hospital, you had severe liver damage. I think they said fatty metamorphosis of the liver. They said 6 more months of drinking the way I was, I would have had full blown cirrhosis at 19. I had an enlarged heart. I even had bone marrow damage. I'm not even sure how that's possible. I don't know enough about bone marrow to understand that. But had a couple of years sober. Things are going great. Uh, Daughter's mom, well, girlfriend at the time, got pregnant with my daughter. Still going great. Stayed sober for a couple of years, caught a case, went to jail, all that shit. But eventually, years later, I would drink on and off. After a couple of years of being completely sober, I would drink on and off and do coke on and off. Um, but I was very good with it. I could drink and then not drink for a month if I didn't want to. And then, so at the time came when me and my daughter's mom broke up. That was very hard. Boom, back at it again with alcohol and coke, and I drank and snorted myself to the point where I was involuntarily committed. I was in a psych ward. While I was in the psych ward, they detoxed me. Um, I had, then they told me at the time that my liver enzymes were so high that I either had alcohol related hepatitis or full blown liver disease. Years later, of course, I found out that was bullshit. It was normal to have elevated liver enzymes because the alcohol was still working its way out of my system and the damage was still occurring. Um, you know, and then again, stayed clean and sober for years. Got my own apartment after me and my daughter's mom broke out and moved out and all that shit. Was raising my daughter. I was a great father. I worked my ass off every night, third shift for years. I would get home in the morning. I would do my daughter's hair, make sure she got a shower. I'd make her breakfast. I'd take her to school. I'd go back home. I'd sleep. Then I'd wake up, pick my daughter up from school, hang out with her all day. Then at 9 o'clock, I'd go to work until 6 in the morning. And then I lost that job. And, over those years, me and my daughter had the best relationship, the best fucking relationship. Um, I mean, as close as a daddy daughter could be. We did everything together. We'd wake up in the morning. I'd say, hey, you want to go to the zoo? You want to go to the aquarium? Wherever it might be. You want to go to the beach? And we would take these trips. And I had the opportunity at one point to finally take her to Disney World. I didn't even have a license at the time, but I figured out how to plan the whole trip without ever needing a vehicle. Basically, with different forms of transportation, whether it be shuttles, You could rent transportation from the airport to the hotel, stuff like that. I had the whole thing set up. We spent a week in a Disney World, had the time of our lives. We did everything together. We were best friends. And then, you know, eventually, I lost my job, which was devastating because it was the first time in my life I had really worked without hustling on the side, without any crime at all. There was no I was on probation for a lot of those years too, so that helped. But there was no drug dealing, there was no crime. I All I did was work and spend time with my daughter. That was it for years. And she saw that and she was proud of me for being such a hard worker. I didn't realize until later on just how proud of me she was for all that. And you know, um those were some of our best years together. And when I lost that job, it destroyed me because that job was so important to me, man. Because, like I said, I was making a living just working. I was making a good living too. And we had a good life. I had a small apartment. It was certainly nothing special, but it was good enough for the two of us. And me and her mom shared custody. So I had her 1 week, her mom had her 1 week. And, it was great. Like, I was every Sunday, man, I would fucking clean that apartment. Uh, Top to bottom, for when she was coming the next day for the week. I would fucking, mop the floors and vacuum the carpets and, clean the kitchen top to bottom and clean up her bedroom. I even had a certain way I stacked up her stuffed animals on the edge of her bed after I made her bed. And, I just always had it made sure it was clean and ready for her. I would do her laundry. I would hang some of her clothes so they didn't shrink, stuff like that. And it was just the best time of my life ever back then, because she was my best friend and just my whole world. And so I lost that job, and you know I didn't know what to do because that job was so good for me. To have no education and this felony record and have a job that good was it doesn't come along often. And I was convinced that I wouldn't get um fuck off, Mikey boy. Yeah, but every now and then I get serious like this, and that's real nice. Jessica Vasquez, real nice of you. Fucking Butana. Uh, you know what? I'm not even going to tell you what I think of you for making that comment. Maybe everyone else will. Um, but she was very proud of me, and I lost that job, and I fucking like I said, I felt kind of hopeless, and I did what stupid street guys do when they lose some income. Their mind automatically uh goes back to what they know best, how they know how to make money. um I'll tell you what she said. She said, FBS seems like a nice guy, but I don't think she'd be proud of a junkie. Very nice. You're talking about my daughter and the way my daughter sees her father. I hope you're proud of yourself. Hank the Angry Dwarf 199. Damn it, you're making me thirsty. What the fuck? I'm thirsty. Um so I went back to that shit. You know what I mean? I got a couple of pounds of lavender kush, a couple of ounces of coke. Oh, is she? I don't, maybe I read it wrong. I don't know. Oh, you mean my daughter? Well, I don't know anymore, but she was then. Um, and I went back to that shit, man, and I started selling coke again and fucking hitting the streets. And once I started selling coke, I was automatically doing it again. You know what I mean? And I fucking she started seeing shit. My daughter started realizing things weren't right. Different types of people coming around. She knew that the friends I was around at the time weren't legit guys. That they were they were involved in stuff on the street, and I'm sure she heard things too and all that. But I think our relationship started to deteriorate. I just didn't know it at the time because my daughter was always such a sweetheart that she would never let me know. She would just keep it inside. You know what I mean? I don't know, but some of this is hard for me to talk about, guys. I apologize. Um, but uh, I didn't realize how much damage I was doing to the relationship and all that shit. And sometimes you don't find out until it's too late. I um I got to fucking after a few years of all this using again, constantly being in the street. I still had my daughter all the time. I was still taking care of her to the best of my ability. She always had what she needed and stuff, and I always did my best to be a good dad. But when your kids seeing certain things, it's not good for them. Um, and you're in such a fucking fog from your stupid addiction and your drug use and all that you don't even realize what you're showing kids sometimes. And I would never be like drunk around her, nothing like that ever. But still, my mind was clouded with cocaine all the fucking time. You know what I mean? And I was just even when you're not doing it, when you do that fucking much, it takes a long time before you get back to having a clear head. Um, That's fucking funny, Raymundi. I'm sorry, but when somebody adds comedy to it, that's funny. Uh, um, it takes a long time before you get back to a clear head and you're thinking properly, and you look back on things and you're like, "Oh my god, what did I do?" Even when you go on, the whole week my daughter wasn't with me, I would fucking drink and I would do stupid shit to fucking damage myself even further. And it takes a long time after you stop all that abuse before you can look back and realize the mistakes you made. It took me years. Now is the first time where I really can look back on this stuff with a clear mind and realize how bad I fucked everything up. But you know, right after I or during while I was doing all that, basically the end point for that period of time was the heart thing. One day I just couldn't breathe anymore. And I knew something was happening because you I could just tell that something wasn't right with my heart. I remember going to a drugstore one day to check my blood pressure and it was like 160 something over 130. It was fucking through the roof. And still I didn't do anything. Just kept doing coke, kept drinking, kept living my life. And one day me and my daughter went to a flea market and I was carrying something and I just couldn't breathe anymore. And I dropped it and I told her I knew something was wrong. And we went home and it got a little better that day. And then, a few days after that is when it got to the point where I just couldn't breathe at all anymore. I had to be rushed to a hospital. And I was in the hospital for fucking hours before they realized, that I was having congestive heart failure. I don't know why, but they couldn't figure that out. And then even when they did, they didn't understand why my heart was so weak. So they did an echocardiogram, and I posted it before on one of my earlier videos about my health. One of my first videos, I posted the actual medical report as my thumbnail. Because I know that people would find this hard to believe, but if anybody knows what an ejection fraction is, that's basically your heart muscle. That's the strength of your heart. That's how your heart pumps. It's your left ventricle, all that shit. Um, it was 10 to 15%, which basically means exactly what it sounds like. Your heart is functioning at 10 to 15%. And while I was in critical condition, for the second time in my life because of my own actions. Um, they told me, that this nurse grabbed my hand. This was a real stupid bitch, and she said, "You're not going to make it till midnight." And I couldn't believe it because, like Shanna told you earlier, I've always had that in my mind, that power of positive thinking thing. I've always believed that once you give up, you're going to die without a doubt. And hold on, you're going to die. You know what I mean? And so I didn't want to hear that. Yeah, most DJs certainly did, Grievous. You almost can't get away with it or get away from it. I mean, I didn't want to hear that shit. I really didn't because I'm like, I don't want you putting in my head. Um, I don't want you putting it in my head that I'm not going to make it. I don't want to hear that. What kind of bedside manner is that? What kind of fucking nurse tells a guy that who's, quite possibly on his deathbed? It doesn't matter if it's true. Don't tell them that. And luckily, uh, I didn't see that nurse again for the rest of my stay. I think somebody might have overheard what she said, and they got her away from me. Um, but I, I I checked myself out after 12 days. I wasn't getting any better. You're not going to get better in 12 days or, you know, most likely no amount of time just laying there. And I kept arguing because I'm such a testador. I'm such a fucking hardhead that I was like, no, 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 I can make it better. You got to let me exercise. You got to let me walk in the halls. Just let me get up. Let me walk around. This is what I was thinking. And I would force them to let me get up, and I'd have to use a walker. When your heart's functioning at 10 to 15%, you can't walk. So I'd have to use a walker. And I remember she gave me the stretch of hallway I could try to walk down. And I made it maybe 10 steps, and I just couldn't do it. They basically had to carry me back to the fucking hospital bed. Um, so I got all kinds of testing done in this time. And, at one point they told me, I think they told my mom actually to have my daughter come in and say goodbye to me and for my mom too. And they asked me if I wanted to see a priest and get my last rites. And I said, no, absolutely not. But I checked myself out after 12 days because I couldn't take it anymore. And I wanted to go on about my life because I refused to believe I was going to die. And, you know, they put me on all kinds of medication, all kinds of shit. Lisinopril, carvedilol, spironolactone, um, eventually Entresto, all this different stuff. And after a few months, they said, "Well, let's give you another echo and see, if your ejection fraction has gone up at all." And of course, I was hoping it would. Um, yeah, I'll get to you then, Jeff. But I'm not. I don't want to get distracted right now. Um, so I got the. I got the. Sorry, I got thrown off by that. I got the next echocardiogram, and it went from 10 to 15% to 15 to 20%. So basically, no better. So they decided I needed a defibrillator in my chest. So I got it right here. Um, it's not like a lot of older people get where it's in your chest. It's it's right. You could see the shape of it right there. It's right under the skin. It's subcutaneous, and it's a defibrillator. So because I was at such high risk for cardiac arrest. When your ejection fraction is that low, you could drop fucking dead at any minute. You can go into cardiac arrest. So I had to get that, and and then I got out of the hospital, and things were different with me and my daughter. I could tell. I'm not going to get into all the details about that. what went on with me and my daughter. I'm just making a point that I fucked up my relationship with her, and it's the saddest part of my life. It has been for years, and not a day goes by that I don't think about it. Um, but um, so things weren't the same, but I didn't stop there. Surely not. I let her go live with her mom at that point because obviously she needed her mom. She was at that age. It made sense. I knew she would have rather lived with her mom. Her mom was doing her hair before school, different stuff like that. So I went and moved with a friend and kept going, kept going because that's me. Fuck up extraordinaire. And, until finally there was a pretty big arrest. There was a big scene. It wasn't pretty, you know, the whole drug task force and the local police and everything else surrounded me, guns to my head, all that shit. And I think that was pretty much the last straw. Um, to any damage I may have already done, I think this just capped it off and that made it, that sealed the deal basically. Um, People were just fed up and they had every right to be. And, time went on. I kept selling drugs. Didn't even stop when I was on bail. They took my car, everything that day. Kept selling drugs and doing drugs. Well, not drugs, one drug, cocaine, and drinking. The whole time. The whole time I was on bail. And then, I got locked up and I did my time and I got out. And while I was in there, towards the end, I was able to do work release and I actually got a halfway decent job. And then when I got out, I really had my shit together and I was doing well again. I was doing well again. And, I was making money legit. I wasn't involved in anything. And then it didn't take too long till I was at work one day and I met a guy who told me, he had some major weight coke. And I was like, oh, yeah. Uh, I think I got a couple of 8 balls or something. I said, let me just check it out. I'll get something bigger. And it was fire. You know what I mean? So I went right back. I was like, give me 2 ounces. You know what I mean? And there I was, back at it again and using again and everything else. And that led up to the whole hotel thing and all that shit. And eventually led to me going to rehab where I met Shanna. Now we're married. And this is the first time in my life I've ever had this type of clean time ever. Since I was 16 years old, I've never had. It's going to be 28 months on the 20th, 21st actually, um, and it's amazing. It's the best my life has been since those years that me and my daughter lived in that apartment, and I was just working third shift and taking care of her. Um, it's the best it's been since then, but it's still not, the way I want it. Um, I did a lot of damage that I can't fix no matter what I do. And I'm trying, but you know, like I said, you can't force people to forgive you and you can't make anybody do anything they don't want to do. Now, I know what people are going to start saying. The trolls are going to take this and run with it and I do have a relationship with my daughter. I talk to her all the time. I was on the phone with her the other night for 2.5 hours. We were talking about this stuff. She watches now. She might even be watching now. Um, I know she loves me. I know she worries about me. But our relationship hasn't been the same. I'll be the first to admit it. I don't blame her. It's my fault. I fucked it up, completely like I fuck everything else up. And all you can do is live with it. That's it. Um, you can't go back, and you can't you can't wave a magic wand and undo all the wrongs you did, but you can try, and you can use your mistakes to maybe help other people use what you've learned from them. And that's what I'm working on. That's what I'm trying to do. And I hope everybody sees it. And I hope eventually everything is back to the way it used to be. I don't know. I don't know if it ever will be. We'll see. Um, you know, I don't know. You never know when that time is going to come or if it's going to come or not. Sorry if I'm having trouble finding my words, but like I said, this is hard for me to talk about. And I didn't even know what I wanted to say tonight. I just wanted to talk about this because I maybe never got this in depth and talked about, stuff that's more current. But that's what, basically I did. And, there's a lot of pieces to the puzzle maybe I didn't include and stuff, but basically that's what it comes down to. Eventually you go too far, and people, are going to have to walk away from you because it's going to be damaging to them. And I don't blame anybody who has, but you can't blame me, for wishing that somehow I could change things. And I don't know if I can. Uh, I don't know if things will ever get better, but that's my one wish, I guess you could say. So that's it, guys. I don't think I want to go any further because I don't think I can, to be honest. So I think I have to stop now with that, at least. Um, Anthony Luciano Raymundi, 4.99. Thank you, man. Even I wouldn't do that. God bless. Hope you can improve your relationship with your daughter. I can tell you love her a lot. Thank you, man. More than anything. More than anything. You FPS, someone just timed me out. LOL, huh? What was said? I never got timed out before. I don't know how long you were timed out for. I don't know what to tell you. Um, yeah, you can do that, Vinny. I know you wanted to come on for a minute. We could do that then. Uh, I hope so, Jesse. I'll tell you what, though, guys. Um, George Gallion, Chris, you are such a wonderful person. I have tears in my eyes, and not pity, but empathy. Thank you, George. Me too. Um, it's not happening again. And I know, I wouldn't blame anybody for thinking, "Oh, great, now he's gonna fuck this up and start using again." No, because I'll die first. There's no way. I will never live like that again. This is my life for now, and it's only going to get better as far as I'm concerned. And I refuse to think otherwise. I have this now. I have you guys, and it's helping me in a lot of areas of my life. Believe it or not. So, but it's something. Trust me, I'm not stupid. I know the trolls and the scumbags who have absolutely no heart will take this and run with it tonight and, call me all kinds of names and bad dad and all kinds of shit, whatever. It's not going to stop me from expressing myself, guys. Have a ball, do what you want. But this is something that's on my mind all the time. And I tell you guys this stuff. So I wanted to tell you guys this too. CND 758. Keep your head up, my man. Build off of today. You never know what the future holds. That's what I'm doing, man. I'm trying my hardest. And a lot of the reason I'm talking about this stuff tonight is because of those days like yesterday that I had where I'm down. And the worst thing, there's a reason. You remember when Dr. Melfi said to Tony Soprano, "Do you know why a shark keeps moving?" That's me. Like, I keep moving so I don't think. That's why I'm never bored. There's no such thing as boredom in my life. I keep myself, action packed from the minute I wake up till the minute I go to bed. I'm doing something, I'm busy. I have to be. Because once I get too much time to think, then uh I really get into the danger zone. And that's why jail is effective in some ways, in some, because it gives you time to think. And when you're somebody who has a lot of bad shit in your head, um, oh, is there really cane shades? I got to look into that. Yeah, it is. It is. But I wouldn't trade it, Mustache Pete. Um, when you're somebody who has a lot of bad shit in your head, Brooklyn guy could probably tell you this, and a lot of other people. Time to think is not your friend. That's not what you want. You do not want time to think. So when I have a day like yesterday where I'm just down, and I don't mean even emotionally, I mean physically down. Like I can't just, you know what I mean? I can't get up. I can't go outside. I can't work in the yard. I can't drive somewhere. I can't, you know what I mean? I can't function normally. Um, this what I do, I think. You know what I mean? And it makes me, it puts me in a bad place sometimes. Another fat ball to tell you, you won't raise your hands to me. I'm a made guy. All right, Ralphie Cifaretto. Um, thanks, the truth. Uh, Carol Mahale, screw the trolls. Their opinions don't matter. Stay strong. Everything will work out. Please stop being so hard on yourself. Everybody makes mistakes. I know, and you're right, but I've made a lot. I've made too many. You know, and you have to. Sometimes you have no choice but to reflect on it, as hard as you try not to, and you just have to accept that these are the things you've done, and you might spend the rest of your life paying for them. But listen, I'm not playing a victim here, guys. I want to make that clear. All of this shit, everything hard I've gone through in my life for the most part was my own fault. I'm no victim. I'm not playing any victim. All I'm doing is expressing myself. I'm not feeling sorry for myself. That's for goddamn sure. Um, but, I'm just telling you my story. And I could have told it better, and I should have done a whole show about just this. Even this, I'll beat myself up about that I did this wrong. That's the way I am. But and I didn't get too detailed for the people that haven't heard my story before, but I did my best to get through what I wanted to say tonight. So, and I don't know, should we get to this comment? It's not here anymore, but I saw Jeff Nadeau commented. I didn't see it. I didn't get to read it. I didn't want to get distracted. Peter Miller, FBS, although the past cannot be changed, you have complete control over your future. Use the rest of your life showing your daughter how much you love her and the person you've become. You're absolutely right, Peter. And that's what I'm trying to do. Hunting times, yeah, that's what it looked like, man, but I didn't really get to read it, man. Let's see. There are things that need to be said and things that you need to know. At least let me explain myself in all respect. Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, Jeff. Damn, $5. Thank you. I know you will, bro. I appreciate it. Everything will be okay, man. And don't get me wrong, luckily it's not as bad, as maybe it sounds. Um, it's just that, you can't how do I say this? There's how things used to be, and when they haven't been the same, you know what I mean? And that they may never be the same. And I have myself to blame for it. I'll be the first to admit it. But um it's it is what it is. You know these things. You know what life used to be like, how people used to act towards you, how you used to act towards them, things you used to do with people. And when it's not that way anymore, when those things have kind of gone away. But I'm doing my best, guys. That's another thing. Like somebody just said, beating addictions and stuff. That's why, and don't get me wrong. Now I have Shanna and my stepkids, and I have other reasons. Um, but if you put all this stuff together, I have all the reason in the world to stay clean and sober. And that's why, even when I get temptations and stuff, I just know that I'd rather be dead than be in that place and do any more damage to myself. So I don't I don't even consider going back to the way I used to be. And that's why even if money got tough and stuff, I'd figure something out. I'd get fucking 6 jobs before I would go back to selling drugs and all that shit. I don't want it in my life anymore. I put all those people out of my life. I moved away and I got all those fucking, and I don't blame them. My choices were my choices, but listen, you put yourself with the people you were with when you did all that bad shit, and chances are you're not going to do them any favors, and they're not going to do you any, and you're not doing yourself any favors by being around them. So I've made all the changes I know how to make. I just don't know what to do next. I guess that's a good way to say it. George Galliot and your daughter must be a special person. If anyone messes with that, I know you can handle your business. However, it would take 10 Ramundis to stop me from hunting them down. Yeah, well, the people that know me know. You guys are funny, man. So I want to get off that because, like I said, there's not anything I can add to it at this point. I just wanted to get that out, guys, and tell you, fill you in a little bit more on my story because I do want to get back to more of, my stories and mob stories, and yes, they're two separate things, but that's how I started this channel. I started out doing a few things, trash and Alite, that'll never stop. I'm about to get to some more of it in a minute. Um, Telling my stories of addiction, telling my stories of crime, incarceration, um, and telling mob stories and talking about mob stuff. And that's what I want to get back to. I really do. Oh shit, and I'm going to, man. All this stuff gets us distracted, fighting with each other and shit. And look at Jeff. I mean, not Jeff. Lee. Look at Lee. Last 2 days, doing the right thing. Last night he told the story about his life. Excellent. Today he did something good. Did a good show. We can all do better, man, if we're not constantly trying to destroy each other. And that's what I want to do, man. I want to do better. And it doesn't pay for me. to be at each other's throats, me and these other guys, because I really work hard at this, guys, as far as trying to get interviews, because that's something I love, man. It's a passion of mine now, doing those interviews. And I listen, when I'm getting a hold of people from The Sopranos and Goodfellas and shit like that, and I'm asking them to do an interview, and they come to my fucking channel and they see, me tearing Lee apart or doing these different things, they're turned off by that shit. They don't want to get involved in the drama. So, I have a plan and I want to follow it through. Ask Napkin Ed, another Stern reference. Love it. 4.99. Thank you. You're a good man, FBS. Cheer up. I got pinworms. I'm sorry to hear that, Ask Napkin Ed. I will. I'm all right, guys. I just I had to get a little serious for a while because that's something I've been wanting to get out. I just didn't know when and how. Eric Jones, $10. Fuck Alite. Thank you. Excellent super chat. Appreciate that. I don't know what that means, and didn't bother with Calandra. I don't know what that means. You're welcome. The truth. I appreciate it. And you guys always share with me too. You know what I mean? But yeah, Jesse, they really don't for the most part. You know what I mean? That's why people ask when I interviewed certain people, why don't I bring? You think they want to talk about that shit and give their opinions on people like Alite and stuff? They got fucking careers and everything else. They don't need all that shit. And I wouldn't disrespect them by trying to drag them into it ever. So, FBS, what do you think of Jimmy Calandra saying he's cutting everyone off that fucks with Lee? I didn't hear him say it. Did he say that? I honestly didn't hear him say that. Hunting Calandra, is it hunting times? Is it Calandra or Calander? One is useful, the other. Yeah, the first one is right. You got the spelling right and everything. It's Calandra. No name needed. You had Lee on the ropes. One more knockout punch, and he would be gone for good, man. No, honestly, I wish I could tell you I did, but I don't right now. I don't have any good interviews in the works. If he really drops the tapes, he's a good snake. Listen, like I said, I hope he does, but I'm not going to entertain it anymore by even talking about it. It's past due. Oh, he said that today. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't hear it. Like I said, I was on the road all day and shit, so I didn't hear all this stuff. And then I fell asleep for a couple hours. I'll have to listen to it then. Um, oh, okay. Joe Malecki, it's gray flannel. That's what it's called. You can pass the Equity Podcast. Anybody can. Well, almost anybody. Is Brooklyn guy still in here? I know he wanted to come on for a night and try out his sound again. You can come on, man. Just let me know. He might be in bed too. I don't know what his deal is. Um, holy shit. Tim Egan, thank you, man. Thank you for the Cash App. That's very generous of you. I appreciate that a lot. Tapes will be played on Tanya's channel, so he said, yeah, whatever. Um, Amber Alert: Lee folded the second MRE, did a Tupac hit him up style episode the other night. That was brutal, man. MRE he's fucking he's great. Um, I know, Kevin. I appreciate that, man. Well, that's a lot of the reason. Like, people don't understand. Today, yes, he said, if you have access to him, you will no longer if you fuck with Lee. Oh, okay. Um, that's a lot of the reason I love to talk to you guys. You know what I mean? People talk about me helping people on here and stuff, but you have no idea how much this helps me. You have no idea. In a lot of ways, man. It's made me so happy, even though sometimes the stress of it makes me want to jump off my fucking roof. It's made me very happy. The people I've met, if this whole thing ended tomorrow, this YouTube thing, just the friends I've made with you guys and other people that I talk to off of here and stuff, and the experiences I've had, wouldn't trade it for the world, man. It was fantastic. CND 758. People need to hear this. As bad as your situation was, you were here today right in front of our eyes. Thank you, man. And yes, that's why I never play the victim or I never look for sympathy, because I shouldn't even be here, man. No less free, sober, and clean, with a beautiful wife in a nice house. None of these things. I shouldn't have any of them, and I probably don't deserve any of them. With the opportunity to help other people. And I know that I've helped a few, and that means the world to me. Having this platform, being able to make a little money off of it, you have no idea how grateful I am for this shit. That's why I never miss a chance or an opportunity to tell you guys um, how much you all mean to me, and how I appreciate all of it. I will, man. I'll call you. Good night, man. Enjoy. All right, I'm gonna bring Vinny Brock on, and then I'm gonna go over the Franzese and Alite thing again one more time, because I took that video down from the other night, and then that'll be it. There you go, Vinny. Is Thin Gray Line in here? Thin Gray Line. Remember, everything happens for a reason. We talked about this. If not for you, today's trip, plus that one night you intervened, we may be down one less fan and friend. Yeah, you're right. Absolutely right, man. I appreciate that. Thank you for reminding me. Brooklyn guy.
Hey,
What's up, Paisan? How you doing?
good. Someone told me a couple of days ago, stinking thinking. Remember the guy?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know, I could tell you, when I was younger, I thought my father was Superman. You're 8 years old. Your father could beat everybody up in a fight, this and that. When you become a teenager, you hate him because you realize it's not true. When you get a little older, you respect him for being a human being. And I really do believe that it's like putting money in the bank. Eventually, you can't even remember when you had the $2 when it's a 10,000. I bet you can't remember when you had one sub. Now you look and you say, "Where am I?"
Yeah.
And your daughter will come around, because I tell you something. You could have the greatest father in the world, but as you get older, like that son who respects the father for not being the best at everything because he's human, she'll say, "Look what my dad came from, where he came from, and who he is now." Not enough time's passed. But as she gets older, you get a lot smarter to her.
Yeah.
And that's what I really believe. And I really do believe it. And I believe it's like you walk into a room that's a hoarder and he asks you to help and you look at it and you go, "What the fuck?" And you take one thing and then another thing. It takes a long time, but eventually you say, "Well, it looks a little better." You're not sure, but you're hoping. And then eventually the room's open. And I really do believe that will happen because you're a good guy. And what you were telling me today on the phone, you're here and you might have saved someone today. At the very least, you changed the person's life for today until whenever. You did that. I don't know anybody that's fucked up and sucks that did something like that.
Thank you, man.
So it's true. Ask anyone. It's true.
I know
It's
it's not.
like it's like your wife saving someone's life and not going to look at her and say, "Oh, fuck you, you suck," right?
Yeah, yeah.
So you just got to stop the stinking thinking.
I know you're right, man. I know it's not my present I have a problem with. It's my past, and I can't. I don't deal with it well.
Well, you know what? You will. It takes time. And like I always say, and we've had this discussion,
Thank you, Tommy.
I knock myself because that keeps me on the right road. If I think I'm okay, I'm a minute away from disaster. If I think I still need help until the day I die, I know I'll try to get better tomorrow and the day after. But the day after, I have to make sure I still think there's a problem. Because once you think you don't have a problem as an alcoholic, that's when you slip.
Yeah.
So stick with it, brother. And
Thank
we all
you.
do on here. I'm going to sign off so I can hear your Alite stories.
All right. I appreciate it,
Be
man.
well. I'll talk to you soon.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Good night, Peter Miller. Thanks for being here. Yeah, everybody hit that like button, please. Can't change the past. No, you certainly can't. Back. It's probably the hardest part of life, the fact that you can't. Eric Jones, stop looking backwards. You're not going that way. I know, man. I appreciate it. Android, sometimes people need that one little seed of hope, that one attaboy, that one compliment or hello, and that makes all the difference. You're right. I agree. Yeah, he is a great man, George, without a doubt, and he does care about me. I know. I appreciate him. All right. So listen, I can't be on forever, so I want to get to this. I want to show. Now, I did this the other night, so guys, bear with me. I hope you don't all leave on me. But I took that video down, so I want to do it again. I want it to be here permanently, and I'm not going to get into everything about it, but just to, I want to talk about the importance of this, and I know you guys have probably heard it, but let's see. Let me pull it up. All right, so I want to talk about this. I'm going to play it right now.
I'm going to leave.
Hold on.
Question for you about two characters. I'm curious to know if you have anything to say about this. One is Johnny Russo, one is John Alite. Both of them have been on Vitamin. Both of them have gotten millions of views. John Alite, he's, especially right now with the interview taking place, Mafia States of America, there's a lot of people making videos. They're happy. Some are not happy. Some are calling you out. Some are calling Michael out. There's a lot. Some are calling Sammy out. What can you say from your experience? You guys were both in was it Rip City, New York? I don't know what that documentary was. Fear City. Both of you guys were Rip City. I'm thinking about basketball. Yeah, Trailblazer. So what is your point of view of John Alite? Everywhere I go when I run into Albanians, they adore, they admire him. What can you say about John?
Patrick, I never met the guy. I never heard of the guy. I never knew anything about him until he came up on social media. For some reason, he decided to make comments about me. Again, I don't know anybody that knew him. I don't know anything about him. And I've always said to myself, I'm not gonna make my name by knocking other people.
I am. So I know I played that the other night, and a lot of you have already heard it, but I want to talk again about how important that is. He doesn't know him. He never heard of him before this whole social media thing. And he don't know anybody who's ever heard of him. I just have to talk again about how important that is because of who Michael Franzese was. And his father, how important his father was, and how his father's operation took place in places like Greenpoint, but also in Middle Village, Woodhaven, Glendale, the places where Alite operated. And Michael Franzese took over that crew that operated in those places as well. So it's so important for Michael Franzese to have said that. And it's a slick thing he did, because by saying that he didn't know him or hear of him, that was it. That was the kill shot. He didn't have to say anything. When he said, I don't want to say anything bad about him, you don't have to. You just said it all. Like, it's so great because, like I said the other night, Alite has got to be fucking throwing a fucking fit still. And this was days ago, 3 days ago. He's got to be out of his mind with anger. He's got to be so pissed off because somebody like Franzese, his word on who you are or whether or not he knows you can really do some serious damage. I mean, not like at this point, if the whole world doesn't realize by now that Alite's full of shit, then there's probably no hope for those people. But maybe hearing Franzese say it helps just a little bit to make it clear how unimportant Alite was in the street. And how, he was just no big fucking deal, period. Michael Franzese was a big deal. His father was really a big deal. Michael Franzese never heard of Alite. Nobody he knows ever heard of Alite until social media. So it's not even like Franzese is saying, oh, well, in the later years, I started to hear he was a drug dealer in Forest Park or he was this or that. No, never heard of him. Never heard of him. Michael Franzese had a big crew. He operated all over the place in Queens and Brooklyn, and he knew everybody because of who he was. He was a captain. He was important, and because of who his father was. Anybody of note during that time period, and it's the same time period Alite talks about, he would have known. He would have at least heard of or known of. You know what I mean? And even he said before, he's had dealings with Gotti. I don't know about Gotti Jr., but Gotti Sr., of course he had dealings with Gambinos. He had to have. And he's even spoken about some. Yeah, Sonny was the underboss, of course. Yeah, Sonny Franzese. But I'm talking about Michael being a captain. So, I don't know. Maybe I said it wrong earlier. I don't know. But no, yeah. So Sonny's the underboss of the Colombo family. His son is Michael Franzese. Michael Franzese takes over his father's crew. They're operating in the neighborhoods that Alite was in when he was doing his dirt. But Michael Franzese never heard of him and doesn't know anybody who ever heard of him. I mean, that's so important for us to have heard because we can put all this shit together. And, somebody like Gunsmoke the Don, somebody who's good with editing and putting these videos together really needs to just compile because it is important. Because of what I said the other night, it's not like Raymundi. Raymundi's just telling a bullshit story. Whereas Alite is, attacking and terrorizing a whole family and anybody who dares to fucking speak out against them. And there's a lot of us. So the quicker we can rid ourselves of this guy, at least on YouTube, the better. And somebody should make a compilation of all these little pieces of evidence that we have that Alite was a no fucking body. But thank you to Dash. Appreciate that. If anybody out there knows how to do that shit, do the editing and is really good with that and doesn't mind sifting through his years of bullshit on these YouTube videos and documentaries, you'd be doing the world a service if you took the time to make a compilation of all his, not just all his bullshit, because we know a lot of that, but all the other people, making it clear that Alite was nobody. The people that matter, you know what I mean? The people that were there, the people that were on the street. It's important. Oh my God. But then if you take, all they could do on the other side is come up with a compilation of people who corroborate Alite's story. But you got to look who they are. They're people that are on his side or are benefiting from saying these things, like Gene Borello, Hootie, Anthony Ruggiano Jr., whoever it may be, or Andy Ruggiano, whatever. I'm sorry, Anthony Ruggiano Jr. I think. I don't even fucking know. I don't know. I got so much going on in my head. I was just watching a little something with him earlier, but these are the only guys that back up his story. And they only do it because they're getting something out of it. It's like I said the other night. When they get out of jail, a lot of these guys, they get out of jail, they don't know what to do. They don't know where to go. They have no money. So Alite will say, hey, I'll take you under my wing. I'll put you on my show. You could tell your story. He'll make promises like, I'll get you a book deal. I'll get you in documentaries. And they will say whatever he needs them to say to get the ball rolling on their own little YouTube career, whatever it may be. So that's what these guys do when they come on his show. They, oh yeah, he was a tyrant, and there was bodies in the street that he left there. He left bodies all over Woodhaven and blah 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 blah, and Howard Beach and all this other shit. And it's nonsense, but they'll say it because there's something in it for them. What scares me about Alite is him selling bats to impressionable kids that think it's okay to bat people. Whoever his handlers are should have stopped him for doing this. Yeah, you would think so, but that's our government. He can get away with anything he wants. Okay, Mike, I'll check that out. That's fucking funny. That's crazy funny. Yeah, I know, but you got to understand that these guys in a lot of people's eyes have some sort of credibility. So when they hear, when they hear these other guys saying, or plus, like we've said, a lot of these fucking fans of Alite, they're not even in this country, they're overseas. They don't know, you know what I mean? They don't know anything about the mob. So when they see a guy like John Alite, he's straight out of Central Casting. They see him looking, sounding, and acting like an Italian gangster, and that's what they believe he is. And even once they find out he's Albanian, doesn't matter. They still see him as being this big mafioso, and he's right there to egg them on and keep fucking giving them more and more bullshit stories to further that belief of theirs. What's up, Mob Rats? How you doing, bro? Glad to see you here. You came at the end, but I'm still glad to see you. So yeah, man, it's just it's the same shit over and over with Alite, and it was so great of Franzese to do this because it's such an important voice, regardless of what we think of him or any fucking thing else. Let's face it, it's an important voice. And now we got Sammy on tape saying, "Listen, you don't know anything about the mafia," to Alite, and I got you, my brats. And we got that, and now we got Michael Franzese. There's nobody really credible that will fucking vouch for this guy, and that's important. That's important because the dude will fucking how far is this gonna go? Like, who is gonna put him in a movie or a documentary or a fucking or give him more book deals? Like, how far is it gonna go to the point where this guy is the voice of the mafia as we know it? I mean, that's what it's gonna come. Not to mention, the more power he gains, the more he can fuck with people, like the Gaudis and everything else, and just make people's lives fucking miserable. So where does it stop, man? Where did these guys like? How do we get the word out to Hollywood and shit that stop putting this guy in shit? He's a fucking liar. Nothing he says is true. Or do they just not care? Because it makes them money and they just want somebody on tape telling cool mafia stories. I don't know. I didn't hear that, Alan Higgins. So, I don't know. I don't know if it's ever going to stop, man. The Fear City thing was ridiculous. Shit, the first thing, the Trevor McDonald fucking documentary was absurd. Listening to this guy talk about being the sheriff and Death Haven and all this nonsense. And then he was on Crime Watch Daily and he said he killed dozens of people and he fucking Gene set what up? I don't know what you mean. I might have missed some earlier comments. Oh, that? Oh, yeah, I didn't watch that either. But Sonny's tripping a little too, man. I'm not happy with his little video he put out. I told him that. So I don't know. I'll catch up on this stuff maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow. But I just wanted to talk a little bit more about Alite and make it clear that he's a big douchebag, as we all know, and that there's one more credible person coming out saying, was it Mob Rats? I gotta watch it. Coming out saying, that they never heard of him. It's important. And I'm gonna get back to more Alite stuff. And I'm glad to see everyone else's too. Clearly set up by Gene. Well, of course it is. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's a lot of people that I'm gonna start stop fucking with this whole thing, honestly. Because it is getting ridiculous, man. The way these guys get their hooks in people. I've just had it. So, there's a lot of people I'm gonna start stepping away from. Stuttering John 499. Thank you, Stuttering John. I used to snitch on Gary all the time for sleeping, but don't call me rat. Stuttering John did. He was a fucking pain in the ass, man. Valutainment started this crap with Alite giving him a platform, unfortunately. Yeah, the yes I did speech. Oh God. Makes you want to throw up. I'm going to do it soon. I'm sorry. I've been distracted with all this different shit. If the whole thing with Lee didn't take place last week, I would have done it already. I was working on it. But listen, when I do it, first of all, I'm going to have somebody on that's got a lot to add. But secondly, it's going to be like the definitive thing. It's going to be all out there. Like, I'm not fucking around. So the Panisi thing should be big. But I just want to do it right. I don't want to rush it at all. I want to have all my facts, a timeline, everything. And I want to put it out there. And I want to be careful because let's not forget, this is an active informant you're talking about. So you got to watch every word you say. Bunch of hookers selling that ass to Gene and Alite. Yeah, man, I'm getting tired of all this shit, man, honestly. And there's just people I want to step away from. And I really just want to be doing my own thing. You know what I mean? I don't really want to be connected to other people like that anymore. It hasn't worked out in the past, obviously. You doing a show tonight, bro? And I've learned my lesson. And that's why, as far as the Lee thing, I'll just put it out there now. I don't know if Lee's watching or anything. I'm just done. I took Lee's call the other night. He explained himself, apologized, whatever. All right, Mob Rats. But that's it. I'm not going to trash Lee anymore, but I'm not going to talk about him at all. I just want to move on. If he drops the tapes, he drops the tapes. If he doesn't, he doesn't. But me and Lee can't have any kind of friendship anymore. That's just done with. Too much has been said. Too much has been done. So, I'll let Lee do his thing on his own, and I'm going to do my thing on my own. There's not going to be any more connection between shows. There's not going to be any more phone conversations or anything like that. I'm done. And I'm done with a lot of shit, but that's one of the things. Then Gray Line 499. Chris, I can't front. We could all use a dope new scratch session on them bad boys right behind you. I'll drop one tonight or tomorrow. I'll drop one. And I got to do some new stuff too. But the reason I haven't done anything new is because, as you can see, well, you can't tell, but the laptop that I use for Serato is the one I'm looking at right now. So I don't have it hooked up. I disconnected some speakers and stuff. So I got to hook everything back up and get back on it, and I'll do some new stuff. But until then, I'll keep dropping some old shit. But listen, that is the truth, man. I'm just putting it out there. That's just the way I want it to be. No more trash and Lee. No more me and Lee going back and forth. But I'm just done as far as that's concerned. I'm putting all that shit in the past. And, you know, me and Lee can't have a friendship. We just can't. There's no point in us talking on the phone or text messaging. That stuff is over. I'm doing my own thing, period. And, you know, this is just going to be me doing my show. And that's how I want it to be, honestly. Because listen, guys, other than Shanna, these doing shows with other people, going on each other's show, doing all this type of different stuff hasn't worked out well for me. Okay. Being connected in some way, like, oh, FBS and Lee or Lee and FBS. No. Just FBS. I'm just FBS. He's just Lee. There's no connection between the two. And that's the way I want it to be. So that's the way it's going to be. I'm not fucking around anymore with all that shit. I am, Mob Rats. I am. You do it the right way, and you're right. And that's how I'm going to do it, man. I don't want any of that shit. It never fucking turns out well, especially once you find out who a person really is. You know what I mean? So I just don't want to do it anymore. So that's the end of that. But thanks, guys. I'm going to get going. I appreciate all of you. George, I'll try to give you a call again tomorrow. Hopefully I can get a hold of you. It'll be from a blocked number, but it'll be me. And I appreciate everybody for being in the chat. Thank you for all the super chats, the Cash App. I appreciate that stuff. It means a lot. It makes a big difference. So thanks again, and I'll see you next time. Salute.